How's it going, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of Schmoedown Central. I'm your host, Brad Thomas, breaking down the week that was in the movie trivia Schmoedown. 2 matches to get to, a number 1 contender match, and of course, a big Anarchy team match, both involving members of the Action Army, and of course, the 5 Horsemen. So let's get into that number 1 contender match that happened on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we had John Rocha taking on Andrew Ghai. Andrew Ghai coming in with the 2-0 undefeated record, 2 knockouts, ranked number 2, while Rocha comes in with the 9-6 record, 2 knockouts, ranked number 1. And around number 1, both competitors going toe-to-toe, getting the same answers correct, getting the same answers incorrect, each one proving they deserve to be in this number 1 contender match. But Rocha was able to pull away late, getting the 2-point advantage over Andrew Ghai by the end of the round, as John Rocha went 6 for 8 while Andrew Ghai went 4 for 8. Round number 2, Andrew Ghai was first to go, and he spins the category of Christopher Nolan movies, a category did quite well against Mark Reilly, but this time around not doing his best. He does get a couple questions right, but he does give up a 2-point steal on question number 2, and ends up only going 2 for 4 for a possible 3 out of 8 points. This still has Rocha in the lead now by a score of 8-7 midway through round 2, not the type of round 2 you want to put up in a number 1 contender match. Rocha up next spins the category of westerns, getting a strength of his, and he decides to capitalize on this one, going 3 for 4, getting a possible 5 out of 8 points, not giving up any steals in the process. He did make one mistake that he did know, but it did not matter, as now Rocha led 13-7 at the end of round 2. Round 3, Andrew Ghai down by 6, needing to get all 3 questions correct in order to send it back over to Rocha, or at least get his 5-pointer and another question correct. Question number 1 comes in the category of comedy, and Andrew Ghai gets that one correct. Question number 2 coming in the category of the 2010s, and Andrew Ghai does it yet again, getting that question correct, now only down by 1 point. Question 3, the 5-point question, coming in the category of dramas, a very difficult question for the drama category, needing to know the Harrison Ford, Brendan Fraser movie that came out in 2010, and was unable to hit the correct answer. John Rocha winning this one by a score of 13-12 via TKO, moving on to face William the Beast Bibiani for the title. With the victory, John Rocha improving his record to 10-6 with 3 knockouts, and I believe is the first singles competitor to do so, to hit the 10-win mark. Very impressive stat on John Rocha's part. Andrew Ghai now falling to 2-1 with 2 knockouts. Rocha, he went 9 for 12 for 75% for questions he was asked, while Andrew Ghai going 8 for 15 for 53% for questions he was asked. So there you have it, John Rocha moving on to face William the Beast Bibiani for the title. Big match happening. Can't wait for that one. It should be an exciting singles matchup, and I can't wait to see what goes on. Andrew Ghai might be back in the tournament. He's undecided, so we'll have to see if he does decide to do so. But regardless of the fact, Andrew Ghai has proven himself, despite the loss, that he is a force to be reckoned with. Of course, with those first 2 matches, beating some legends, not able to get Rocha, but it looks like the rivalry between Bibiani and Rocha is going to be renewed, and it should be an exciting one to get to. But let's get into the Anarchy team match that happened on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, we had Who's the Boss taking on the Crazy 80 Greats. Crazy 80 Greats comprised of Haleigh Foutch and Eric Zipper taking on Who's the Boss, who were comprised of Mark Reilly and Ben Bateman, of course, managed by Finstock. Round number 1, Who's the Boss was able to take the lead early and hold on to it for the entirety of the round, but the Crazy 80 Greats did not have a bad round by any stretch. They both played solid and ended up only being a 3-point lead after the first round. Ben Bateman, he goes 6 for 8, while Mark Reilly, he goes 7 for 8, leading the way, nearly perfect. Eric Zipper, he goes 5 for 8, and Haleigh Foutch also going 5 for 8 to give Who's the Boss a 13-10 lead after the first round. Round number 2, Crazy 80 Greats up first. They spin the category of comic book movies, a big strength of both competitors. But they did make a couple crucial mistakes. Question number 2, big misplay, saying Martin Sheen for Uncle Ben, but that was of course from The Amazing Spider-Man and not Cliff Robertson, giving up a 1-point steal. Followed up by another 1-point steal on question number 3. They were able to rebound somewhat though, and end up going 4 for 6 and getting a total of 7 out of 12 points to give the Crazy 80 Greats a 17-15 lead midway through round 2. Who's the Boss up next? They spin the category of new releases, and they have quite the round. They go perfect, getting 6 out of 6 questions correct, getting 10 out of possible 12 points, a very impressive round to give them the solid lead by a wide margin, forcing, of course, the Crazy 80 Greats to pull something miraculous in round number 3, but a solid round for Who's the Boss, which led into round 3. Crazy 80 Greats up first. Question number 1 coming in the category of the 2000s. Eric Zipper getting that first question correct. Question number 2, Haleigh Foutch has the category of 80s movies, and again, getting that correct answer. Question number 3 comes in that strength of comic book movies, but it could be a tough question like it was in round 2. Haleigh Foutch, though, able to think of the correct answer, a big pull on her part to get the lead by a score of 27-25, forcing Who's the Boss to answer some questions. Mark Reilly deciding to go first in the category of Charlize Theron movies, and unable to come away with the correct answer there, a big misplay on his part, saying 100 Ways to Die in the West as opposed to 1,000,000 Ways to Die in the West. Bateman up next, and still win the game here though on the 3-point question, gets the category of crime movies, uses a repeat, but manages to get out the big guess, or was he just playing with us, for the correct answer, as Who's the Boss now wins it by a score of 30-27. With victory, Who's the Boss improves to 1-0, while the Crazy 80 Grades fall to now 0-1. Who's the Boss, they go 20 for 24 for questions they were asked for 83%, while the Crazy 80 Grades, they go 17 for 25 for 68%. Not too bad on the percentages parts for both teams, just a very impressive round by Who's the Boss, only missing 4 questions. On the individual side of things, Bateman and Mark Reilly leading the way, each going 7 for 9 for 78% for questions they were asked, while on the Crazy 80 Greats side of things, Haleigh Foutch and Eric Zipper again tying, going 6 for 9 for 67%. Each competitor pulling their weight in this one, and I would like to see both teams potentially stick around. So big victory for Who's the Boss. Moving on, the feuding didn't happen too often in this match, of course. Some of the pregame and postgame stuff, maybe a little bit there, especially with Finstop being involved, but a solid victory and a very impressive victory for Who's the Boss. I'm excited to see who they end up playing in round number 2. As for the Crazy Grits, like I said, I'd like to see them stick around as a team. They both complemented each other quite well, and I'm interested to see if they end up playing some matches in the future, because they didn't have a bad game. They're both evenly matched, and I like to see that going forward. But let's get into what's going to go down next week on the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. So next week on Schmoedown Central, we got the Evil Geniuses taking on the Wildberries. Of course, you know who the Wildberries are. Of course, that's Elliot Dewberry and Josh McCouga, a very exciting team. I'm happy that they're together. They're one of the more entertaining teams, taking on Lon Harris and JTE. Favorites have to be, of course, the Evil Geniuses here. But who knows, the Wildberries are going to create an entertaining, exciting match. But again, Lon Harris and JTE paired up. That's going to be a tough team to beat. Then we got a doubleheader coming up next week. Of course, you got the brothers taking on Cannoli. Cannoli, of course, comprised of Brianne Chandler and Drew McWeeny. That'll be an exciting team to see how they complement one another. McWeeny, of course, a former team champ. We'll see if the pairing of Brianne and Drew can lead to another team championship. Taking on the brothers, of course, with Hewitt and Whitney Seibold. I think this could be our dark horse team of the tournament. Hewitt, of course, being that wild card, but not too sure exactly how he'll perform in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. But Whitney is a solid competitor, and if Hewitt can come to play in the Schmoedown, I think we could be looking at potential winners. Then, of course, we also have Corruption taking on Inky and the Brain. Corruption, of course, Chance Ellison and Mike Kalinowski. Chance has always been lighting up the Fan Trivia Schmoedown leagues, and we'll see if he can do so in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. But the pairing of Kalinowski and Chance Ellison could be an impressive one. And then, of course, Inky and the Brain, comprised of Devon Stewart and Rachel Silvestrini. We'll see what they can do in the Anarchy team tournament, but it is going to be a tough task taking on Chance Ellison and Mike Kalinowski, but I'm excited to see if they can do so and come away with the giant upset. As for our play of the week, that's got to go to Who's the Boss round number 2, getting the perfect 6 for 6, getting 10 out of possible 12 points in the new releases category. A very impressive feat. Have to go to multiple choice on just 2 questions, which was a smart decision if you're ever hesitant on that to do so. And of course, this paving the way to give them a 25-17 lead after the second round. Pair that with the 2 steals they came away with. It was a very impressive feat and led to, of course, that victory in round number 3. But our misplay of the week is also going to be Who's the Boss? Mark Reilly, question number 1. Charlize Theron saying 100 Ways to Die in the West as opposed to 1,000,000 Ways to Die in the West. Slight mistake there and not able to come away with that correct answer. Just a tiny bit of a mistake, 1 word difference, and almost proved to be a difference maker had, of course, Bateman missed that 3-pointer, forcing them to hit the 5. They managed to get the victory, but again, still a big misplay. And our player of the week has got to be John the Outlaw Rocha, winning the number 1 contender match, going up against William the Beast Bibiani now for the title. A big win over Andrew Ghai via TKO, of course, and we'll see if Rocha can get the title. One of the first competitors to hit that 10-win margin, so again, another big feat for Rocha and potentially another record. Congrats to John Rocha, and I'm excited to see what goes down in the title match. So that does it for this episode of Schmoedown Central. Be sure to like, comment, leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. Love hearing all of that. And of course, subscribe for videos each and every week. Let me know all your thoughts on this week's matches, what's going to happen next week, what your predictions are, what all that stuff's going to be good about. And of course, follow me on Twitter at 94BradThomas or at Schmoedown to keep updated in the world of Schmoedown Central. Until next time, I'll talk to you all next week on Schmoedown Central.